Souls Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love. Love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service this morning.
Arise, O souls, arise.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for being here on this beautiful morning. I'm Scott Hensey. I'm a member of All Souls, and we're glad that all of you are here today or joining us online. All of us extend a warm welcome to those of you who are new here. Welcome. We hope you have visited the welcome table in the lobby. Beyond that, know that many of us would enjoy talking to you after the service and answering your questions. Would members who are thrilled or awesome to talk to newcomers raise your hands? Thank you. Your presence, each of you, enriches all of us and our time together. Bring your whole self, your truth of happiness and sadness and fear, your hopes, your worries, your curiosity, and the tenderness of your heart. Who you are right now in this place is just who you need to be.
Dearly beloved ones, again, good morning. Stay near me, speak my name. Oh, do not wander by a thought's span, heart's impulse from the light we kindle here. You are my sole defender, as I am yours. In this precipitous night, which over earth till common landmarks alter is falling, without stars and bitter cold. We here have only our burning selves for shelter. Huddle against me, give me your hand to hold. So might two climbers caught in mountain weather, on a high slope and taken by the storm, desperate in the darkness, cling together under one cloak and breathe each other warm. Stay near me, spirit, perishable as bone, in no such winter can survive alone. The light we kindle here.
Here today, in these places, and with all these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. Please stand as you are able and join in the affirmation of our covenant. And then, if you could, remain standing as we join together in song this morning. Together we affirm,
Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Okay, before we invite the young people here to go off to their classes, I want to ask for their attention for a moment. If you're a young person out there, would you wave at me so I know where you are? I can see you. Thank you. Yes, okay, great. I appreciate it. Yay. All right, well, last Sunday, the Super Bowl was pretty exciting. Did you think so? Oh, yeah, okay. I was very glad that the Chiefs won. How about you? Yay, okay. And there was a big parade downtown at Union Station on Wednesday for the team. It was supposed to be a big celebration, but some people brought guns and got into an argument, so it turned out to be dangerous and scary for a little while, didn't it? Yeah. And one lady did get killed, so I would like us to think about her and her family for a moment this morning. Her name was Lisa Lopez Galvan, and she was a kind, happy person, and her family loved her very much, so it's really sad that she's dead. And you may have heard that some children got hurt at the same time, but the doctors at the hospital took good care of them, and it seems like they are all going to be okay. Most of them have already gone home with their families. But it might still be kind of scary to think about. And what I want to tell you, as well as the grown-ups, is that it's okay to feel sad and a little bit scared and maybe even sort of mad that somebody spoiled such a happy event for our city by scaring all the people who came to celebrate together. I am a little sad and scared and even mad myself, but at the same time, I'm also grateful. I am thankful for the Chiefs players who stayed there and helped out the children who got separated from their families in the crowd, and helped people who got knocked down by accident while everyone was running around trying to figure out what was going on. There were some police officers who did the same things, and I am thankful for them too. And I want all of you to know that all of us here at church work hard to try and make sure that this will be a safe place for you and for all of us. I want to remind you that church is a place for all of us to learn and practice how to be together without people getting hurt. And when you have a covenant promise in your Sunday school class, that is to help you all learn, even your teachers, how to treat each other with safety and respect. Also, I want to remind you that church is a place where we can talk about things that happen that leave us feeling sad or scared or even mad, and help each other feel better. So I hope you will take care of each other and be a little extra kind to everyone today, okay? All right. That's great. Now, you can head to your classes and we'll sing you a song while you go. I'd like to remind all of you who are still here that if you haven't seen the email, there will be a listening circle here tonight for those who have feelings that they want to share about the events of Wednesday. We'll gather in the meeting room so that we can also include an online gathering. And if you would like to join us online, just go to the homepage of our All Souls website, and you'll be able to click through and join that meeting.
Good morning. I'd like to start this off by saying my name is Ashanti Spears, and this is not my first time visiting All Souls. My pronouns are she, her. I'm vice president of the All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church Board, and I have the privilege of identifying as UU by choice and trial. I came to UU a somewhat resentful and definitely hormonal adolescent. When people ask where the young people are, I try to respond with, I'm right here, but I have about 5 years left to say that because officially the age for young adult is up to 35, and I've been saying that for a long time, so I'm ready to stop saying that anyway. So where are the young people? Well, they're working, they're going to school, they're visiting All Souls, they sit in Bragg Hall on Sunday in the earlier parts of service, and they're going to their classrooms for RE when we sing them out on their way, and they are now. When I became UU, it was a culture shock. I was asked existential questions beyond the binary of heaven and hell. I was asked to think about my core values and exactly what I believed. I mean, being asked about your sexual orientation and gender identity and getting invited to OWL, it's awkward. Through middle school and high school, I felt completely separate from the big house, what we called adult programming, because we had a smaller youth house right next to the church. And so I left, but I was still a UU. I'm reminded at this point in my writing of a refrain from one of my favorite UU hymns that I proudly sing at service and alone more often than I would like to admit. Come, come, whoever you are, worshiper, wanderer, and my favorite is the lover of leaving. I left for a couple of years, but I never left my gained faith in humanity, and that there is more love somewhere. Now we're always undergoing an evolution. And so I'm gonna bring it full circle. When you give, you ensure that there is always a place for young people, Black people, our queer siblings, and all of us in this place at this moment, where we grow and evolve. And we disagree sometimes, but we show up anyway. And you provide a place for our future, and our kids can blossom into leadership and give back and learn that love is not a finite resource when it's in community. Though you've broken your vow 1,000 times, come wherever you are. And when you give, you invest in the future of adults like me that have been empowered into leadership positions. By investing in all souls, you not only give to the operating budget, to all of the other initiatives that we have, but to the UU congregation and our association at large. We secure a place for younger folks to see themselves in the future, and we answer the question, where are the young people? They are our future, they are now. And so now, the offering will be gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful and caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
Once again, good morning. My name is Isaac Robinson, and this is a reading by Freeman Wickland called What is the Beloved Community? Do you want to be peaceful, happy, and safe? Don't all human beings want these things? Don't all feeling beings seek these things? When we look at the trees and flowers and how they grow towards the light, can't we infer that they, and all life forms, desire these things? Since peace, happiness, and safety are universally shared goals, how can we live in a way that allows all life to thrive? Previous generations of wisdom teachers, healers, reformers, and activists have pondered these questions and come up with the idea of the beloved community. We've started capitalizing the term to highlight the fact that we speak of the historically well-defined beloved community as outlined in the article. Although the idea behind the beloved community is timeless, The phrase was first used by philosopher theologian Josiah Royce, 1855-1916, who founded the Fellowship of Reconciliation. It was popularized by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 1929-1968, and the Civil Rights Movement. Here are 5 defining characteristics of the beloved community. 1, given our shared desire to be peaceful, happy, and safe, the beloved community describes a practical, realistic, and achievable society. 2, in the beloved community, conflict still exists, but it is resolved peacefully, non-violently, and without hostility, ill will, or resentment. 3, in the beloved community, we recognize the interdependent nature of all life, so we appreciate, recognize, and value the inherent worth of all people, animals, and ecosystems. 4, in the beloved community, kindness, compassion, and love for all life motivates our actions. We work cooperatively to peacefully end hunger, prejudice, poverty, homelessness, climate change, and environmental destruction, factory farming, and violence and injustice of all kinds. And number 5, in the beloved community, the means we use to create change are just as kind and compassionate as the ends we seek. Our commitment to unconditional and all-inclusive kindness and goodwill allows the beloved community to become what Dr. King called an engine of reconciliation. Thank you.
James Leigh Hunt was a Victorian-era poet who, like many of his contemporaries, became familiar with the religion of Islam during the British colonial Raj and began to interpret it through the writings and fables of its own mystics and teachers rather than through the disapproving rhetoric of Christian missionaries. He was particularly captivated by the character of the semi-historical Sufi saint Ibrahim bin Adam, of whom he wrote, Abu ben Adam, may his tribe increase, awoke one night from a deep dream of peace and saw within the moonlight in his room, making it rich and like a lily in bloom, an angel writing in a book of gold. Exceeding peace had made Ben Adam bold, and to the presence in the room he said, What writest thou? The vision raised its head, and with a look made of all sweet accord answered, The names of those who love the Lord. And is mine one? Said Abu. Nay, not so, replied the angel. Abu spoke more low, but cheerily still, and said, I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men. The angel wrote and vanished. The next night it came again with a great wakening light, and showed the names whom love of God had blessed. And lo, Ben Adam's name led all the rest. In Arabic names, both Ibn and Bin can be translated as son of. Abu is another common prefix which means father of, so that the poem's title character is a son of Adam, or a type of every man, a symbol and a representative of humanity in general. The moral of the fable in Hunt's mind is that to love one's human siblings is as important a religious value as to love God, a being who can scarcely be comprehended by finite human consciousness. And this is a principle held in common by both the Islamic and Christian, as well as perhaps other faiths. The rational and practical Enlightenment tendencies of both Universalism and early Unitarianism led our own spiritual ancestors to conclude that for humans to love a loving God would have to mean doing whatever we could to relieve suffering among our fellow beings who were embraced without exception in divine love. Leigh Hunt was not wrong in his implicit speculation that love might lie at the core of many of the world's religious traditions. Many Christian mystics, as well as spiritual seekers in other teachings, have reported their experiences of profoundest truth as finding themselves completely immersed in the sensation of universal cosmic love. The revered mystic known to the world as Julian of Norwich, lying gravely ill on what she believed was to be her deathbed, had a series of visions of God and Jesus, which she spent the rest of her life after she recovered trying to describe, unpack, and understand. As she asked herself years later what the meaning of this whole experience was, she received this in a reply. She wrote, "I desired many times to know our Lord's meaning, and 15 years after and more, I was answered in spiritual understanding, and it was said, 'What, do you wish to know our Lord's meaning in this thing? Know it well, love was his meaning. Who reveals it to you? Love. What did he reveal to you? Love. Why does he reveal it to you? For love. Remain in this, and you will know more of the same, but you will never know different without end.'" After much reflection, Julian came to believe that the purpose of her revelation was that she should share the assurance of God's infinite love with other human beings, so that they might be certain that nothing in the world and nothing in themselves could ever possibly separate them from the love of God, so that they need not suffer from anxiety nor be afraid of God. She went on to teach these ideas to the people of her town, especially to spiritual seekers like herself, believing that anyone who understood themselves to be beloved of God would be happy in themselves and would therefore be kind to others. The same insight would emerge in the communities of meditative practice among the followers of the awakened sage who became known as the Buddha, whose teaching of meditation to arouse loving kindness remains a powerful practice in our own day.
Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the best-known Zen teachers in the world, said this about loving kindness. "The essence of loving kindness is being able to offer happiness. So build a home inside by accepting yourself and learning to love and heal yourself. Learn how to practice mindfulness in such a way that you can create moments of happiness and joy for your own nourishment. Then you have something to offer the other person." He offers this love meditation as an adaptation of loving kindness or metta meditation from the Buddhist scriptures and printed in his book, How to Love. I invite you to repeat each phrase after me. May I be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit.
May I be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit.
May I be safe and free from injury.
May I be safe and free from injury.
May I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety.
May I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety.
May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love.
May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love.
May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in myself.
May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in myself.
May I learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in myself.
May I learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in myself.
May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in myself every day.
May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in myself every day.
May I be able to live grounded and free.
May I be able to live grounded and free.
May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent to others.
May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent to others.
Notice how you feel without judgment. Just allow your experience to be as it is. As you cultivate a meditation and loving kindness practice, the invitation is to turn towards your own heart, where words aren't always necessary, where love lives, and where there is limitless permission to feel love for yourself and for others. May all beings be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit.
May all beings be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit.
May all beings be safe and free from injury.
May all beings be safe and free from injury.
May all beings be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety.
May all beings be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety.
May all beings learn to look at ourselves with the eyes of understanding and love.
May all beings learn to look at ourselves with the eyes of understanding and love.
May all beings be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in ourselves.
May all beings be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in ourselves.
May all beings learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in ourselves.
May all beings learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in ourselves.
May all beings know how to nourish the seeds of joy in ourselves every day.
May all beings know how to nourish the seeds of joy in ourselves every day.
May all beings be able to live grounded and free.
May all beings be able to live grounded and free.
May all beings be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent to others.
May all beings be free from attachment and aversion, but not indifferent to others.
In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, sorrow falling down like rain, I will wait the sun again. I choose love.
I choose love. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, I choose peace.
I choose love.
Most of the time, people like Julian, who find their understanding of God founded upon love, will seek to share that idea with others and possibly gather a group that will seek its basis on a commitment to behave with love towards one another. This is a complex expectation, as was recognized by previous generations of All Souls members when they modified a traditional covenant formulation by Unitarian minister and hymnodist James Vila Blake, substituting "goodwill is the spirit of this church" for the original phrase, "love is the doctrine of this church." Of course, it is always wonderful to be part of a community where people actually care about each other, but it is also not easy to make that happen just by wanting it. For one thing, we know that people experience love in different ways, and we don't always know what actions feel most loving to someone other than ourselves. That is why it is helpful to have guidance from thinkers like Freeman Wickland and the Buddha, and poets like James Lee Hunt, who can help us to understand what we might mean when we talk about beloved community. It starts, says Wickland, with the recognition of our own wish for safety and peace and happiness in our own lives and in the lives of those we already care about, especially our children. When we practice a loving kindness meditation, we are acknowledging how much we have in common with other human beings and how unlikely it is that any of us can have safety or peace or happiness if other people are not able to experience those things. At the same time, we must also accept that disagreements and conflicts between people are a natural part of life and are okay, that we should work as much as we can to resolve problems without hostility or violence. That starts by affirming the inherent worth and dignity, not just of all people, but as the Buddhists teach us, of all beings, certainly all sentient beings. For to choose to cause pain of any kind moves us further away from the shared experiences of safety, peace, and happiness, including our own. All forms of injustice, including environmental destruction, factory farming, and induced climate change, put the beloved community further out of our reach, as do hunger, homelessness, poverty, prejudice, systemic racism, militarism, colonialism, and all types of violence or oppression. It is also important, says Wickland, as Dr. King also observed, to ensure that our means are morally consistent with our ends. We will not achieve beloved community through deception or coercion. Or as Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. The beloved community, rightly understood, is not necessarily a feeling of affection and fondness among all its members. We cannot wait for that to descend on us like Julian's revelation. Rather, it is a commitment to a way of life together, a covenant promise, if you like, to practice loving kindness in the service of justice and freedom. That, to me, is a tremendously exciting possibility, and I am so glad to be engaged in it with all of you, not because we are all in agreement about the details, but because we hope to be something together, because we have acknowledged the possibility of a world in which we might, indeed, share our journeys and help to bear each other's burdens, in the service of which I invite us now to put into practice our commitment to human fellowship by sharing with one another the joys and sorrows which are currently shaping our lives. May the beauty and sweetness of these brief flowers Remind us to hold one another in bonds of sympathy, encouragement, and care. For remember, when the angel returned with the name of those who love of God had blessed, lo, Ben Adam's name led all the rest. Now, if you prefer to limit your sharing to those in this room today and not have it be part of our live stream or of our YouTube video, we will have a moment when we avert the cameras and stop the recording near the end of our sharing time. So just wait a moment until I ask the cameras to cut away, and then you can come forward if you would prefer to share more privately. I begin with a flower of sadness for those injured or distressed in the disturbance during the Chiefs team celebration and parade on Wednesday. And I add this flower of concern and sorrow for my colleague and my predecessor in this pulpit, Jim Eller, on the death of his sister and my good friend and beloved colleague, Jan Eller Isaacs, this past Wednesday. If you have a joy or a concern that you would like to share with the community, please come forward.
I just wanted to update you guys that after 7 weeks in the NICU, I got to bring my little girl home. We got to spend Valentine's Day all snuggled together, my sweet little family, and she's doing beautifully. And I'm just so grateful for the entire staff at the NICU. Talk about people who live with so much love. These people just love on these children that aren't theirs and give them so much life and give the parents hope. And it's such a beautiful place, and I'm very grateful I got to be a part of that community. As scary as it was very beautiful and inspirational, and yeah, I'm just very grateful.
I'm so happy.
Good morning, I'm Jeff Lewis, and my heart continues to be heavy due to the shooting and the injury and murder of people on Wednesday. I did want to mention that the meeting this evening starts at 6 o'clock. If you can't be there in person, it will be on Zoom.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian. I'm sorry to cut in front of you. I want to share that my family had a loss this week. My mother, who a lot of you know, her sister lost her husband, Lynn, and my heart is low, but filled with everybody here. Thank you. And I love my aunt, and she's going to be okay. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I want to just sort of echo a lot of people's feelings about football, the Chiefs, our city. I just feel, I don't know how I feel actually, combination of sadness and anger and resolve. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. But I also would like to say that I'm grateful for All Souls, grateful to be able to be here, grateful to have a family, and I'm also grateful for the wonderful music. I loved that song. I just love that song. Thank you, everybody, you guys.
I want to express my utter joy that my dear grandson was at that parade Wednesday. And when I heard the problem, I texted him and said, "Are you okay?" And he texted right back and said, "I'm fine. We were on our way to the car when it happened." So I couldn't be more grateful.
I'm Jean Patterson, and I'd like to place this flower in memory of Alexei Navalny, who was murdered in the Russian prison system, and to commemorate also those hundreds of people who were jailed for doing something as simple as placing a flower at a memorial.
I am very happy. My name is Ruth Robertson, and I have finally moved into Kings. I have to stop. Is it a forest? Is it a board? No, it's the King's Wood. And and I'm just, it feels like a huge burden has rolled off of my shoulders, and my youngest son and his wife and their little girl came to see me on Friday night, and the little girl can't hardly wait to come back and swim in the pool there. But they helped her dad and mom were able to get the last piece of furniture fixed up, so the bed will be ready for them next week to come, or whenever they can come again. And my other son came this morning with his girlfriend, and we ate breakfast together there. And I just feel like it's extension of where we are here, because a lot of us are already down there. And guess what? The Methodists are just as nice as the you use.
I'm Scott England, and I have a concern and a couple of joys. Concern is that my dad, who was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia about 3 years ago, is continuing to have progression of his illness and losing physical strength. The joy is, though, we were able to move him to a new memory care center, which is in Fremont, Nebraska, which is the same city my sister lives in. So instead of having to drive 30 minutes to go visit him, she can go 5 minutes, stop on her way home from work, so she can see him much more frequently, and she's his constant companion and advocate. The other joy is that after months of thinking and dreaming and trying to brainstorm, yesterday I walked in during walk-in hours at a tattoo parlor in Waldo, and the artist completely blew me away with what she was able to do for a memorial tattoo for my husband. I really, really wanted to get it done before the anniversary of his death on March 9th, and she just was incredible. So that makes my heart happy.
My name's Marianne Hewitt-Drossett, and along with my wife, we had 3 birthdays this month. My daughter had a birthday on Friday. Back it up a little bit, and our granddaughter had her first birthday on Valentine's Day. And at the first of the month, Philip, our grandson, had his third birthday. So we have a lot of Aquarians in that family.
That's great, Mary.
I'm John Maher, and mine is a joy. Watching Sunday after Sunday, and I was particularly struck this morning the way that Kendyl has fought her way back and reemerged and come back to us, and it makes me realize how much I've missed her.
Thank you, sweetie.
You know, my name isn't important in this, but what you were talking about, what they've been singing about, what we've been sharing about love, I think the hardest thing for me is feeling love for people that are blocking funds to help Ukraine and other places in the world where there's war and destruction and people dying. And I want to send love to those people in Congress that are doing that blocking, as hard as that is for me to say, that their hearts and minds open up and they realize just how incredibly destructive their political stance is and how many human beings are dying because of it. And if they can be touched by love somehow, and I'm angry with them, but I want to send love there to say, please, 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 open up your hearts and minds. We have to be better than this.
I'm Don Dickey, and part of loving or caring for someone ultimately implies there's going to be loss. And as mortal creatures, the best we can hope for is we live a long, healthy life and pass away peacefully. Wanted to pay some respect to Carol Harson, who for many years was this wonderful friend. She and her husband had me to their home a number of times, and she was always this bubbly, vibrant, gracious person, one of the kinds of people you like to be around. She is missed.
I think we're ready at this point. If the tech deck would help us by taking away the cameras from the room. And now if there's anything to hold in our thoughts today my brother-in-law, Jeffrey Gibbons, who's been having some health struggles and thought he was going home from the hospital recently and then had a fall. So he's now back in, and we're all trying to figure out what his next best step is and sending him energy and care so that he can heal. Are there any other joys or concerns to be shared? Then I will place this final flower in recognition of all the outreachings of the Spirit that abide unspoken in our hearts, and invite us to join together in song. We now release this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of beloved community, or the fire of commitment to justice and freedom. For these we send forth into the world beyond these walls and carry in our minds and hearts until we are together again. Love is not all. It is not meat, nor drink, nor slumber, nor a roof against the rain, nor yet a floating spar to those that sink and rise and sink and rise and sink again. Love cannot fill the thickened lung with breath, nor cleanse the blood, nor set the fractured bone. Yet many a soul is making friends with death, even as I speak, for lack of love alone. It well might be that in some difficult hour, pinned down by pain and moaning for release, or nagged by want past resolution's power, I might be driven to sell your love for peace, or trade the memory of this place for food. It well might be. I do not think I would. Go in peace to build and support the beloved community that may sustain us all.